Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wildlife is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovery Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today I'm going to tell you about honey possums. The honey possum, or the nullbanger, is a tiny species of marsupial that feeds on the nectar and pollen of a diverse range of flowering plants. Despite its name, the honey possum is not a possum and it doesn't eat honey. The honey possum has a relatively short lifespan, typically ranging from 1 to 3 years. Due to their relatively small size and vulnerability to predators, their life expectancy is relatively short. Honey possums have a trichomate vision similar to some other marsupials as well as primates, but unlike most mammals which have dichromat vision, the honey possum is endemic to the southwest of Western Australia. Honey possums live in banksia woodlands, sandplain heathlands, shrublands, and low open woodlands. The species is now extinct in most of the central wheat belt. There is much of this vegetation that has been cleared. Honey possums are most abundant where vegetation hasn't been burnt for 22 to 26 years. The population is double these areas compared to recently burned sites. Honey possums are mainly nocturnal, but on cloudy days they can be seen visiting flowers from dawn until dusk. During the day, they tend to take shelter in tree hollows, abandoned bird nests, and rock crevices. If the weather gets too cold, they may hibernate. They feed on banksias, bottle brushes, heath grass, trees, and kangaroo paws. As they have such a high metabolic rate, they need a year-round continuous supply of nectar to survive, and plants need them. Many possums pollinate many plant species by transferring pollen collected on their head and body between flowers. Just like bees pollinate flowers, these honey possums pollinate flowers, but in a different way, which is actually kind of cool. That's new information for me. This is all new information for me. I didn't know that about these creatures. Now I know. The honey possum plays an important role in pollination by transferring pollen from one flower to another. As it feeds on nectar, pollen grains stick to its fur and are inadvertently carried to other flowers, aiding in the reproduction of plant species. While these animals are expert climbers and are mostly arboreal, tree-dwelling, they are also fast runners. Like nectar-eating birds, they have bristles on their tongue tip used to collect nectar from native flowers. The upper surface of the tongue is covered by brush-like bristles that collect pollen. At 1.8 centimeters, a honey possum's tongue is almost 1/4 of its head and body length. The honey possum is often mistaken for a possum due to its similar appearance, but it is actually more closely related to the kangaroo and the sugar glider. The honey possum has a pouch that opens backwards. Unlike other marsupials, this unique characteristic prevents dirt and debris from getting into the pouch while the possum is foraging for food. The honey possum has a sensitive hearing and vocalizes using a series of high-pitched clicks and squeaks. These vocalizations are used for communication, especially during mating rituals and territorial disputes. The honey possum bears the smallest known mammalian newborns in the world, with joeys measuring only the length of a grain of rice and weighing only 0.00018 counts. The joeys are independent in up to 11 weeks. Habitat loss is the biggest threat to the survival of honey possums. They rely on a rich diversity of flowering plants so that at any time of the year, at least one species can supply nectar. Unlike the nectar-eating birds and bats, they can't fly to different areas to source flowers. Indeed, females with joeys are recorded moving less than 10 meters over several months. Associated threats are inappropriate fire regimes, habitat loss from a certain type of water mold, and predation by cats and foxes. It's also predicted that climate change will result in declining rainfall and increased wildfires in the region, adversely affecting honey possums and their habitat. Thanks for watching this episode of Adventurous Kids. Yeehaw!
What did you learn today? Adventurous kids. Adventurous kids. What was the most interesting fact? Adventurous kids. Adventurous kids. Adventurous kids.